guys, this is Isabella Jaii, and in today's video, as you guys can see by the title, I am talking about 75 hard. So recently, if you guys have been following me on Instagram, you would know that I was actually doing a challenge called 75 hard. I completed the challenge, so I did 75 days of a challenge that I feel like is more of like a discipline challenge than it is just a fitness challenge. I know that most of the things that I post on my channel are fitness related, and of course the content that I post on my other platforms are as well. So that's definitely a part of why I did the challenge. But if you guys want to know what the challenge is, what my experience was, and also if you want to know the answer to a few of the questions that you guys asked me on Instagram, then let's get into it. Also, if y'all hear anything, it is thunderstorming right now, so I'm trying to get through this video. I'm not gonna say as fast as possible, but as fast as possible. So the rules of the challenge are to follow a diet. So you have to pick a diet. They want you to do like a strict diet. Me personally, I did not do a strict diet because I've done strict diets in the past, and I just really wanted to challenge myself to just keep going. So my diet that I did was more like a lifestyle alteration. So I decided to cut out sugar, and I also decided to cut out fast food and processed foods for the most part. So I was still eating rice, and I was still eating bread from time to time. The second thing that you have to do is you have to complete 2 45-minute workouts. Now that doesn't sound too bad, because honestly for me, I used to spend hours in the gym before. So especially when I was like in the gym heavily, like I would probably spend like 2 or 3 hours in the gym. But the kicker with doing 2 45-minute workouts is that one workout has to be outside. Like I started to do like a step challenge with my friends and my family. So it started off just like as a friendly competition between me and my girls, and then after that I started to like post it to social media, and people were like, what is this app? How are you tracking your steps? How can I do that? So because so many people were asking me what it was, and because so many people were trying to challenge me, like literally it went from 3 friends to 20 plus. So I ended up getting an Apple Watch. Y'all see me. Shout out my girl Leah. And then I also ended up making a group on the app, which is called Step Up. I am not sponsored by them at all. I literally just use the app to track my steps and to challenge you guys on socials to get up and get active. So the link will be in the description box for you guys to join. It is free. So a lot of times when I did my workouts though, y'all, I would either be walking to get my steps in for the day, or I would be going swimming, or I will also go to the gym. But mainly this entire summer, I was walking and I was swimming. And the one thing I feel like did its big one this whole challenge was that walking. Okay, I have been running from cardio for the past few years, and I'm so glad I stopped, because my body, my metabolism is thanking me. So we're gonna get more into that a little bit later though. Also, you have to take a progress photo. So I was really struggling with progress photos because honestly I was constantly on go this summer, which I did not expect. So a lot of times I would have to just put my phone down and then like record a little video of myself every single day and then screenshot from the video, which I felt like was better anyway, because you could pose in a picture, you know what I'm saying? So doing the videos, you can't really pose. Like you could fix your posture, but you can't do nothing. Like you're gonna see it all. So I was making sure to record like at least 1 video a day to help me with my progress photo. And then you also have to drink 1 gallon of water a day. All right, let's get into this. So drinking a gallon of water a day, I thought would be the most intimidating, but it honestly was like the least, and I'm not gonna say the least intimidating, but it wasn't as intimidating as I had assumed that it would be. So for me, what really helped me to drink my water or whatever was having like a cup. So I have 2 different types of cups. Like one of my cups is a Buzzy cup, and another of my cups is like, it mimics a Stanley, but it's not a Stanley. And so that cup, both cups have a straw, but the taller cup that I have, it had like this straw, which I feel like drinking out of a straw made drinking the water so much easier for me versus like just throwing it back. Like you just, you know, when you're drinking the water and you gotta go like, you know, I feel like that's too much. It's too much water coming out at once. It just feels like you're gonna drown. So it just made the process a lot easier for me overall. I also noticed that once I started to simplify things, it got a lot better. Like not easier, but it got a lot better. So for me, the way that I was like thinking about drinking water was however many ounces my cup was, I was just like, okay, how many ounces do I have to drink in order to get to a gallon? So for both of my cups, they're like about 3.5, almost 4 times to fill those cups up to get 1 full gallon of water. So over time that did really work for me. And then the next thing that you have to do is you have to read 10 pages of a book, and specifically a nonfiction book. I was really irritated with that because I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to read like my love stories. But because I challenged myself this year to read all 4 of the Gospels in the Bible, I was like, okay, like this is gonna challenge me to literally pick up the Bible. But then also, y'all see that stack right there? I have so many books that I have not picked up literally since I bought them. So y'all, I've had a lot of time this summer to sit and actually go through the books that I have in my room, and that was probably my biggest struggle overall. Literally the reading did it for me. It did it for me. It did it for me. Bro, when I tell y'all, I didn't even anticipate reading being the hardest part of this challenge, but it was. The last thing that you have to do and that you cannot do is that you cannot drink any alcohol and you cannot have any cheat meals. Now that we wrapped up the rules and we wrapped up a little bit of how I got into it, let's talk about the experience, bro. So originally I had started this challenge towards the end of May, and I actually started this challenge with 2 of my other friends because we were all really like, okay, let's lock in, let's get our bodies right, let's get our minds right, whatever. And I ended up going a little bit further and like continuing on the challenge, and my other friends, like they sadly ended up falling off, but they kept trying, which I really admired because it was just like, that's the whole point of the challenge. Like no matter how hard it is for you, you have to keep trying until you don't want to try no more. So for me, I made it 4 full days, and then I almost made it through the 5th day. But y'all, I got to that 5th day and I did not plan my day out correctly at all. So I had gotten to the 5th day, did my workouts, no cheat meals, no nothing, but I was going out with my girls that night, so ended up like staying out a lot later than I anticipated. When I tell y'all, I got home that night, I think at like 2 or 3, and I was so tired from literally the festivities, the heat, and just the day within itself, that when I got home, I picked up the book that I was reading at the time, which was like so uninteresting to me, honestly. I picked up the book, I got in the bed. That was where I went wrong. I got in the bed, bro. I put the book on the bed, it was open, I had my phone in my hand, I was scrolling, didn't even try to read it. I'm literally asleep with the phone in my hand. All of a sudden, you know how you just fall asleep, you don't know you falling asleep. I fell asleep. My phone, because I'm literally asleep, my phone falls out of my hand. I jerk forward a little bit. I said, oh, I looked at my phone on the bed. I looked at that book. I went to sleep. I went to sleep. I was like, you know what? We're gonna try again tomorrow. We're gonna try again tomorrow, because I didn't have it in me to get back up and to do it. I did it. So from that day forward, I literally had made a commitment in my mind that even if nobody else does this challenge with me, and even if I have to literally struggle every single day to get these tasks done, like I was not gonna quit on myself. And so from that day forward, I was like, okay, bet, we're doing a challenge. So instead of beating myself up about it, I was just like, all right, once we start this over, whatever day we choose, we locking in. So I ended up locking in, I think 2 days later, so I could lock back in on a Monday. And y'all, so from that day forward, I was committed to the challenge. And another thing is that I actually initially started the challenge like just with me and my friends. Like I just told them I wasn't gonna share it on social media, but because I messed up, I ended up saying like, you know what, I'm not just gonna share this with my close friends, like I'm gonna share this with you guys because that's why y'all follow me to begin with. So it was just kind of like, why not share this part of my journey? Like I'm really trying to fall out of this perfectionist mindset and thinking that like if I'm not perfect or if I'm not 100 pounds down by now, especially because I've been doing this journey publicly for so long, it was just kind of like I had my own thoughts and opinions about what my journey should look like, how people will look at me, and I was just like, you know what, I think that as long as I'm trying, that's all that matters. So y'all, the main reason why I wanted to start this challenge was like, okay, I just want to redeem myself. I want to come back from everything that happened to me, and I want to like, you know, just get myself together, regain everything that I felt like I had lost, which was like the discipline and the willpower and like, you know, just the strength to like actually go on throughout my day-to-day life. And that sounds so over dramatic, but like it was real life. Like there were plenty of days where I felt like I was just like sitting in the house and sulking in my misery because I'm just like so sad about like the place that I was in. And so I feel like doing 75 hard really helped me to kind of push past those feelings and to pick myself up and to say like, you know what, Isabella, like it's okay that like these things happen. It's okay that like you even allowed yourself to go through these things no matter how long it happened for. Like at the end of the day, okay, you can come back from this because you're still alive. Like, God is still good even though like those things happen. And so for me, doing this challenge was like, it was a reminder that like I could come back as long as I tried. So I really had to like shift my focus a lot in the beginning from like, oh my gosh, I have to do this challenge, to like, oh my gosh, I get to do this challenge. And I feel like that changed so much for me, especially in regards to like what kept me motivated, which was like one of my #1 questions. So another thing that I feel like was going on during the challenge was like that constant fight to show up every day for myself, no matter how tired I was. So y'all, this was such a big deal for me because I love to nap. Anybody who knows me knows they're gonna be like, dang, Isabella, what you doing? I probably just woke up from a nap. Like, so with this challenge, I really wanted to change my sleeping schedule, which I noticed that God did within like the first week of me doing the challenge. So I had went from staying in and sleeping in past 11 or even 12 some days to waking up very, very early because I was going to bed very, very early. Like, I'm talking about, I'm in the bed by 1 because I'm over the day. I'm like, listen, it's too much going on. I'm ready to go lay down. So I will be getting up like around 8 or 9, starting my day out. So I will go walk. You know, obviously in the summer it's gonna get hot over time. So like at the beginning of the day, it wasn't that hot. So I would go walk in the morning sometimes, or I would go get ready and go straight to the gym. If I was going to walk outside, I was going to walk outside probably for like 30 minutes to an hour if it was the morning. And then if I was going straight to the gym, I was probably gonna walk for like 2 miles, which is about an hour for me. So 1 mile for me at the time was like, it was 30 minutes at the start of this challenge, and then 2 miles was like 60 minutes. So that was the thing. I had to gradually get into like doing this step challenge and like really challenging myself to like walk longer distances over time, because y'all, I was not doing nothing. Like, when I tell y'all my steps before 75 hard versus what they look like after 75 hard is just drastically different. Like, I started off doing like 2,000 steps a day or less to going to like 10,000 plus steps, and then on one of those days I think I got like 18,000 steps, and it was just like, wow, like God, you something else. Because I honestly wasn't even going to incorporate the walking, but because my friends had challenged me to do the walking, it really started to help. And so I noticed that with me adding the steps as like a kind of like a mandatory workout, it really helped me shed so many inches. Like, I started to notice a lot of changes within my midsection immediately, like my back area specifically. Also, my stomach had like lifted drastically over time. Like, there was a bathing suit that I had tried on earlier this year from a brand, and they sent it to me because I wanted to collaborate with them, but I did not like how I looked in their swimsuit because like my stomach is literally busting out the seams. And it's so crazy for me to even say that because I was so embarrassed when it first happened, but then I retried the bathing suit on and I was no longer busting out the seam. I'm so grateful that I started to walk and that God really blessed that I was even able to start walking as much as I started and to just do this challenge as a whole. Because y'all, the amount of change that I feel like I seen off the scale was so much different than I feel like every other time that I've done my weight loss journey for real. Like, and at least visibly, like visibly I felt like I just looked different. And of course it was really hard to kind of see that progress because like I'm just looking at myself and I'm like, oh, like my clothes don't fit how they did 2 years ago. I was just comparing myself to like my old self. But once I started to like really put that picture by the picture, I understood why like taking those progress pictures really matter, bro. 3 weeks in, I seen a little bit of results, but y'all, by day 40, that's when I posted my side by side for my 75 hard challenge, and I was just like, yo, this is wild. And it was days where I felt like I would wake up and I would feel so bloated, but like I wasn't bloated, bro. I just felt like I was. So I don't know, like that was another thing too that I felt like I was just kind of like struggling with over time. But I will say too, like this has nothing to do with the challenge, but I just wanted to mention, like, if you guys are going to start implementing walking more, please get some good walking shoes, because at the beginning of the challenge I did and was wearing some of the shoes that I had purchased before that I had mentioned in my other videos, but because I am a little bit heavier, I feel like the comfortability of those shoes isn't how I feel like it needs to be. especially for my weight right now. So one of my friends, who is just so sweet, sent me some Brooks running shoes. And y'all, when I tell y'all, these are the most comfortable shoes I've ever walked on and in my life. Literally the most comfortable walking shoes ever. And I feel like that really helped me throughout my whole time walking on this challenge, because the stability, it apparently, like the cushion that's in it, like it forms to your feet. I don't know, it's just some overall really good walking shoes. So like Brooks are really good. I also heard that On Clouds are really good, and it's another brand that I can't think of off the top of my head, but I'll list it on the video as well. For the rest of this video, I'm gonna just answer questions because I feel like that's really gonna help me to kind of share more of my experience. Okay, so my number one most asked question was, what motivated you to keep going every day? So earlier I kind of spoke about like just how I had to shift my perspective. When I tell y'all, I really do mean that, because before this challenge I had like, again, like such a perfectionist mindset where I felt like if I just wasn't doing it right the first time, like it just didn't count. And of course I feel like this challenge could possibly lead to that, but I felt like God showed me how to show myself grace even while doing this. Because before, I was talking about earlier in the video how I was like, dang, like I really wanted to change my sleep schedule, and like that really worked. But I learned that yes, I want to change my sleeping schedule, but every day that you're trying to make progress, it's not linear. I feel like I finally understood everything that I feel like everybody else was trying to tell me like this whole time over the years. Like it just finally started to click. It's okay if every single day you're not waking up at 9 o'clock. It's okay if every single day you're not doing it by the book. As long as you getting it done, like that's the most important part. So I had days where I woke up at 8 o'clock and I got up and I started to walk and I started to get my whole day done early, literally before 5. But then I also had days where I got stuff done after 5. And so I feel like what motivated me was understanding that like as long as you trying, that's what matters the most. And I was also focusing on like that quote where it's like, nah, like you gotta choose your heart, because I never understood that before. Like before it was just like, again, do it right or not at all. And it was just like, whoa. Let's not choose not at all, because I'm trying to really make a lifestyle change to where it's like, no, like I don't want to stay in this space forever. Like I get that I set myself back, but like I don't have to stay here. And so me understanding that like, no, like either I'm going to choose to stay over 400 pounds, I'm going to choose to sit in my misery, I'm going to choose to keep eating sugar and then literally what, die, or I can choose to, you know, push the sugar away, push the fast food away, push away that emotional eating, and to choose to like, nah, for real, make like life changes. Like I noticed, y'all, that when I was eating sugar, and then even now after the challenge, like I've noticed the effects of sugar on me and my body. Sugar makes me anxious. Sugar makes me like impulsive. It makes me like erratic in a way that I don't like. Like I don't like those feelings, and I don't like sitting in that space. So for me, like, yeah, I understand moderation, but I also understood that separating myself from it completely changed a lot for me, because now that I removed myself from it, it's like I don't even desire it the same way that I did before. So I feel like the one thing that kept me motivated was knowing that like I didn't do this in vain. Like I didn't choose to do this just because like it was just something I could just pick up. Like it was literally something that I did because I knew I wanted better for myself. So I feel like what motivated me was like knowing that I don't want to stay in this space forever, knowing that I've seen myself in a better space before, and I've seen how God is just so good and how he literally has transformed me before. Like why wouldn't he do it now? Why wouldn't he save me from myself again, knowing that like he did it? And then also I feel like posting it online like in real time and having to purposely show up every single day and show y'all like, hey, I'm still doing the challenge, hey, this is how this is going, and even being honest with y'all about like just how I felt, that really motivated me. Because like I was in my DMs like, Isabella, you know, this making me feel like happy seeing this, like this motivating me to get up. Like even in Bible study, like I was able to be honest and tell them like, yeah, I don't want to do this every day, but I'm doing it anyway. And a lot of the girls in there were telling me like, I seen you doing 2 workouts a day. It made me realize that I can at least get up one time. And so I think seeing how me doing something anyway had made such a positive impact on not only just y'all, but like the people around me, like in real life, that really motivated me to like keep going. What did you tell yourself to keep going? Any affirmations? So as far as affirmations go, I set out to really prioritize spending a lot more time in God's word on this challenge. Even though I really didn't want to like force myself to read the Bible. It's funny because I feel like the Bible was the only thing that I ended up being able to pick up for real, because the books were getting on my nerves. Like I was just not interested again, like I said earlier. So I feel like the affirmations that I said were like scriptures. Something that I was really telling myself a lot was that my flesh is subject to my spirit. And if you guys aren't Christians, like I was just telling myself that my body isn't subject to the Holy Spirit. Knowing that the Holy Spirit lives inside of me, like my body is a temple, knowing that like I'm glorifying God and I'm giving honor to God by taking care of myself. I'm like, yeah, let's listen to the spirit. Let's just not act how we want to act, which is human, because human me want to go lay down in the bed. Human me didn't want to go swimming. I didn't want to go walking twice a day, especially not in the heat when it was 90 degrees out. So I'm telling myself like, you're good, you got this, you more than a conqueror, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Literally speaking scriptures over myself, telling myself like, no, what I could do, what all things through Christ, which what strengthens me. Yeah, like I literally was having to tell myself and speak scripture over myself every single day to continue the challenge, because I was like, this is not it. And then the Bible talks about how man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. So me speaking them scriptures was because I was like, listen, I can't do this. You said I can't, and I know I can't, because I don't got it, and I don't want to, and I didn't want to half the time, but I knew that if I kept going, I was gonna get through it. So I got through it. My next question is, I just want to know everything from the workouts to the meals to how you stay dedicated. So okay, so I kind of talked about my workouts earlier. Basically I did say that, like, you know, I swam a lot, I walked a lot, and I did go to the gym. It's funny though, because people thought I did like a BBL program, which I would say that if I am following a BBL program, I am going to follow my girl Michaela's program, because she has an entire guide which is also free. So please follow her business page. She has a business page. Her and one of her friends have a business page where they do workouts and they train people and they help people and stuff. So definitely go follow that page and get her BBL guide. But I actually did not do a lot of heavy lifting during my challenge. I did it like here and there, but it wasn't like a consistent thing where I was intentionally trying to like build muscle. If anything, I literally was just shedding, again, inches and pounds from walking. So vast majority of the time I was walking. I can insert like a lot of my stats from the past 3 months, where it was just like every day was like a 10,000 plus day. For the most part, it was like 6,000, 8,000, 10,000. But I feel like for the majority of the summer, I tried to at least get to 8K a day, and if not, then 10K plus a day, just to keep that going, because that's about 3 to 4 miles for me, and anything past that was just additional, because I was not trying to do that. As far as meals go, y'all, so I said I only cut out sugar and I cut out fast food. So if I'm being honest, I did eat pizza sometimes. Like I did go out to restaurants and I would get like fries, or I would get salads. I ate salads a lot. Oh my gosh. And I started to eat fruit, like so much fruit, bro. Like when I tell y'all fruit, I feel like I liked fruit before, but because I did keto in the past, I really didn't get to enjoy fruit in the past few years. So I feel like me eating fruit now is like a whole new world for real. Like my body is like, oh, new world. Yeah, no, for real. Watermelon when I was a kid versus how it tastes now, it just tastes like I never had it before. Like I don't know. I don't know how to put my finger on that, but it's just so good. And I was eating a lot of watermelon, a lot of grape. I was eating peaches here and there. I was eating bananas here and there. But again, mainly watermelon and mainly grapes. I was eating a lot of fried rice, okay? And like my culture, we eat a lot of fried rice or whatever. It's like a breakfast fried rice, which consists of like eggs, some sort of sausage, or whatever type of meat that you decide to put in there. Usually it's like spam over like sausage, but like sometimes people add sausage or spam or whatever you want to add into it, and then rice and soy sauce and like some sort of garlic or whatever. Y'all, it's so good. So I was eating that a lot, not gonna lie to you. Or some days I did have like some low carb days or weeks where I would just eat like tortilla wraps and I would eat tacos, or I would eat like different stuff. I kind of wish that I did low carb the entire time, because I know I would have really cut a lot of fat and a lot of pounds. But but I'm not mad at myself for not doing it. It's just something that I do think about, like, dang, I probably could have lost a lot more weight, but I'm not upset with myself about the space that I'm in because I'm so much further than I was when I started. So it just is what it is. And then how I stay dedicated, I kind of already answered that question. But as far as like the rest of your question goes, I really do want to answer how much weight I lost with doing this. So for me, I did lose 15 pounds. I had a lot of days where my weight was going up and down because, like, I don't know, them days that I was eating that bread. Hey. And then some days I don't know, like, it was interesting because I feel like drinking so much water, like, you can just gain that water weight. So I tried my best not to like weigh myself every day or even every other day. Like, I probably would weigh myself like maybe once a week, 2 or 3 weeks or so. I really didn't want to overdo it because I didn't want to go back to old habits where I was constantly weighing myself, getting on the scale, getting off the scale every single day, trying to figure out like, did I lose a pound? Like, girl, anyways, go sit down. So yeah, that's how much weight I lost. Are there any habits you're keeping in your life once the 75 is over? So, okay, let's talk about it now since 75 hard is over. So now that I'm about to lock back in, I really want to get back into the 2 workouts a day, which would technically consist of me walking. So like, this is how I did my challenge before, because I didn't really touch on this, which I think is really important. The way that I did my workouts was really interesting because it was just kind of like the same way that I broke down and simplified my water. I had to simplify my workouts because I knew that like some days it would be extremely hard to just do a 45-minute workout straight through. And so because I'm the one that gets to determine how I go into the next day or whatever, I started to break down my workout times. So some days I would do like one 30-minute workout, another 30-minute workout, and another 30-minute workout. Other days I would do my 2 45-minute workouts, or some days I would do a 60-minute workout and then a 30-minute workout towards the end of the day, or like a 15 and a 75. So really it just depended on the day and how much I had to get done. And for whatever reason this summer, I decided to be the busiest that I've ever been any other summer. So moving forward, the one thing that I would want to continue to do is like the steps and like that 2 workouts. Filling my day up with exercise was just really good. Like, and I noticed too that even if I didn't get to do both of my workouts outside, or I just didn't get to do the schedule that I wanted to do, like, I wasn't making excuses. So like, if I didn't get to go outside for my second workout, but I obviously went outside earlier, or if I couldn't go outside fast enough because I didn't charge my Apple Watch or I didn't charge my phone before, I would stay in the house and then I would do my workout at home. And the one person on YouTube that I was following was Grow With Joe. She has like a bunch of at-home low impact step videos that you can do if you guys have kids or just at home to like whatever songs or whatever, like lo-fi songs or like non-copyright music, or like she got like a bunch of different artists that she does songs to as well. I was doing her workouts at home and then I would go outside or whatever. So I really want to stick to like that discipline of having like something to do and like making sure I'm staying as active as possible. Like, I do not want to lose that because I feel like that really changed my overall mood. Another thing that I want to do is I do want to prioritize reading, especially like making sure that I continue to read the Bible, because I did read a lot of the Bible this past summer. So that was like really fun for me because I just love learning about God. I love learning about God's word. But I also do want to get into more other self-development books. It was just really hard because like them self-development books be reading you. Like, it's like, oh, you don't want it. You don't want it bad enough because you got bad traits from when you was 5 years old. And it's like, oh, not too much, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to make it through the challenge. Like, you're trying to make me cry, you know? So I really didn't enjoy the self-help as much. But I do know that it's really important for you to self-reflect, and I'm really big on that. Like, even outside of the books, I'm really big on like sitting and watching stuff that's like very informative and also very helpful, and also that does develop your character, because I feel like at the end of the day, like, we can entertain ourselves all we want to, but like I like to grow. I like to be become better, because I know that like where I am is not all I got. It's not all that, you know, God has for me. So I do want to get into more books, but I just think I need to look into like different types of books. So if y'all got any recommendations, please put them in the comments below. I have a few in my head already that I think I want to get, but yeah, I definitely want to get more into reading and finish out some books, because my goal for this year was to read like, I think 6 books, I'm not sure, but I did read 2 and a few pages of some other books. But me getting through that last book, child, y'all, it was hard. But I'm probably gonna finish this last book before the end of the year. Oh, Oh, another thing that I'm thinking about doing is like definitely keeping up with that water intake. Now I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I have not been keeping up with it recently, but I feel like because I had gone so long doing those things habitually, like it's a part of me. So even like the day after 75 hard, when I supposedly kind of stopped what I was doing, I really didn't get to stop because mentally I was still like, oh my gosh, Isabella, if you rest, like you can't rest because you have to get up and you have to go do this. Like I had to tell myself like it's okay, they're there, like it's fine. So I do want to prioritize rest days, but I also want to make sure I just keep them same habits up. Somebody asked me, is the challenge challenging for you? Yes. Not even trying to be funny, but like it was really challenging. Every day I wanted to quit. Okay, so my next question is, what would you change about the 75 hard challenge to make it more fun or motivating? So I feel like I already did change something on the challenge. The steps that I was doing with my friends and stuff, like that was additional. That was not a part of the challenge, and I feel like that really made it fun and motivating for me, but also for everybody else, because they weren't participating in 75 hard, but they were getting their steps in. And so my thing is, if you were competing with me and I'm doing at least 4 miles a day, 3 miles a day, that meant that you had to get at least 4 miles a day or 5 miles a day. And depending on how long it takes you to do a mile, that could be 2 45-minute workouts. So I feel like I was kind of pushing people to join the challenge and to really just get up and be active. So I feel like adding the step element really made it more fun and motivating. Would this be something you would do again? Yes and no. I think that I would do this again, but I don't think that I would do it again right now since it's getting colder. I probably would do it again next summer or something, or like maybe next spring, but not right now. I feel like I answered for the most part what was like the hardest part for me. I feel like the last question I'm probably gonna answer is about my results. So I did mention how I lost the 15 pounds, but as far as results go, y'all, like when I tell y'all, yes, the results physically I feel like were so rewarding, but I feel like mentally and even spiritually, like I just grew so much as a person. I feel like I've grown so much in learning how to like give myself grace, which I just did not have before. I didn't know how to go on without beating myself up. I didn't know how to like not think like a perfectionist and stuff like that. So I feel like doing this challenge and seeing like how I had to literally listen to my body and prioritize rest on most days. So like some days I didn't get up until 5 p.m. and I was able to pivot and to learn how to get my challenge done and still be able to move forward. Like I learned so much about myself as far as like, no, like I can commit to myself and like move forward. Like I'm more than capable of committing to something and like actually seeing it through, but I'm also able to really make a promise to myself and like keep it. Because I feel like in the past, like I was constantly making promises to myself or vowing to myself that I would do something and not following through with my word. And like I noticed that like that was a part of the reason why I would literally just beat myself up, because I'm just like, dang, like you really struggle with following through. Like you really struggle with keeping promises to yourself. And so it's just like I feel like I had broken trust with myself before, and so like now, like I'm not gonna say I trust myself, because like I don't really trust myself, but like as far as like understanding that like if I put my mind to it, I can do it for real. And I do got that dog in me, yeah, but I can't be serious for nothing, but no, for real, like I do got that dog in me. Like y'all know E.T. the hip hop preacher. If you don't, go look him up. But he be talking about like, you know, if you want it as bad as you want to breathe. Like I was like, dang, before I was like, nah, I don't think I want it as bad as I want to breathe. I think I just want to breathe. But it's like, nah. And now I'm realizing like I do want to be in that. Y'all heard that thunder? I do want to be in the best shape of my life. I do want to be happy and like proud and like put on my clothes and not have to think about nothing. Like I want to be able to see my collarbone. Like y'all see my collarbone? Like I want to be able to be happy like when I wake up and like be in a good mood. Like I used to be depressed. I used to be down bad. I used to be in this room sucking my misery, and it's like now I'm chilling. Now I'm like, yeah, I'm that girl again. Like not that I fell off, but like I just didn't feel that way. And so it's like, you know, seeing myself go from being in such a low space because of a situation that I had no business being in, to now being able to see myself in a space where I came back from that. Like I literally came back from that because God is good and He's seen me through this, and like being able to say like, no, like I really do depend on God now for real. Like I pray more, I try to fast to the best of my ability. Ooh, I'm trying to work on that. But I read the Bible more. Like I want to get up and like walk outside. Like I don't want to sit in the house no more. Like also asking people like, hey, do you want to hang out? If you want to hang out, let's go walk. Like that's fun to me now. Even though I ain't gonna lie, I did start to really enjoy my walks by myself, but it is fun to go on walks with my friends, like, and my new friends. Like I met so many new people from this past summer with sharing this challenge and stuff like that, and just promoting being active. Like I don't know, I just feel like I couldn't ask for anything better, and I feel like I've experienced such positive results. And as far as like if I recommend this to people, like I do, but I don't. Like I do recommend that you challenge yourself for 75 days, but I don't know if I recommend like this specific challenge. Like if you guys aren't willing to commit, like I think you just got to be willing to commit. And I think that it's doable, but I also think that it depends on your schedule and stuff, because like for me, I'm an entrepreneur, so like yeah, I could just easily say like yeah, I recommend it, but at the same time my schedule look a little bit different from other people. I don't have photo shoots every single day. I get to plan out when I do my photo shoots and stuff like that, so I don't know, it just depends. Like I think that if it's something that you feel like is going to be beneficial to you because you see that it is beneficial for me, I think it's nice to try it. But I think it's something that you have to really factor in, that like you got to do this even if you tired. Like you got to do this even if you don't feel like it. Like if you don't have a track record with yourself now where you're already telling yourself every morning, I'm gonna wake up and before work I'm gonna go work out, and then after work I'm gonna work out again. If you're not able to make that small commitment to yourself now, adding 75 hard to your life is just going to add stress and strain. So I think that if you are going to try 75 hard, you should work on developing a routine first that you know you can commit to, so that once you get to the point where you can add the challenge to your life, doing the challenge, it'll be hard but it won't be as hard. And I feel like for me, again, because I don't always have to go into a job every day, or at least Monday through Friday, like that helped me because like I pretty much be having free days to like just go. So I don't know, I think that it is something worth trying. But other than that, I 100% recommend that you commit to something for 75 days, whether it's, oh, I'm gonna work out every day for 75 days, I'm gonna cut out sugar for 75 days, I'm gonna cut out this, I'm gonna cut out that. Like definitely figure out what it is that you can commit to and challenge yourself, and I guarantee you're gonna see results, and they gonna probably even be better than mine. That is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoy. It is raining real bad, so I'm trying to get out of this. Make sure to follow me on my socials. Also make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and turn on that post notification bell so y'all know next time I upload. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. 'Cause if your love was all